We have lost contact with North America's 4th Air Force and their 8th Infantry Regiment. Are there any survivors from the 3rd Infantry Division and the 11th Regiment? Please, they're engaged in battle with the enemy's 18th Mechanized Battalion. They're requesting reinforcements. The 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions are in retreat. More than half of both divisions are reported to be dead or injured.
How long must we wait in the shadows? Why won't they launch the Fighting Thunders?
Emergency contact from the Army. Immediately carry out an attack by Fighting Thunder. Assisted.
It took a while, but finally we received the attack order. We must reduce damage as much as possible.
I'm forwarding you the information. Please confirm before beginning munition. Do you hear me, Raiden? We're still surveying the enemy, so please head straight to the scene.
There doesn't appear to be many enemies coming to the suburbs, but you can't be negligent. Remember, shoot them before they shoot you. Max speaking. I think that you're aware of it, but it's the first time to witness contamination of this level with these kinds of massive weapons. Honest. You don't know what will happen, so be careful.
I'm sending you the information on the enemy. No contaminations from surface weapons have been confirmed in the area. This will be aerial combat, so please active search. The 18th Mechanized Infantry are engaged in blocking the advancement of the enemy ships into metropolitan areas. It is unclear how long they can maintain them, so please hurry to the goal. The speed of enemy destruction is quick. Neither the plane nor the pilot has been damaged in the conflict. We will be entering the metropolitan area very soon. The enemy in that area are being mopped up by the 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions. Please quickly pass through and leave before they can.
Hold on. This is too much for the defense corps to handle on their own. Descend and pursue the destruction of the target.
Captain, is that really necessary? The citizens have all been evacuated, and most of the enemy weapons have been destroyed.
That may be so, but I'm sure the retreating people will do what coffee. We won't hurt to help out.
I'm getting a response of my radars. Numerous enemies have crossed the defensive lines and invaded metropolitan area.
You heard it. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to respond appropriately on site.
The number of enemies destroyed has been confirmed. It seems that some enemies on the ground have survived, and requesting help from the 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions. Enemy aircraft is flying between skyscrapers. Please be careful.
Be careful. Do you have any better advice for me?
I believe it's the captain's role to give advice. Have any advice for me?
Make sure you don't hit a building.
Allied battleships are approaching. There are vessels leaving from the ship.
that something so huge was being attacked. But I gotta say, the mission was well accomplished.
Excellent job. I will...
Well, I'd like to relax over a coffee now, but it seems that's not possible. What's the report, Ishiri?
We have received contact from the Middle East region. It appears to be a high crystal response within the vicinity of latitude 18 degrees north and longitude 18 degrees east. Seems to have the same energy response as the previous record.
In other words, there's been another annoying contamination. Unfortunately, you'll have to refuse the invitation to tonight's party.
There's a town around the oasis ahead. It appears that there has been much weapon response.
Their attacks seem perfectly efficient. Maybe there's some sort of unified strategy.
There are no SOS calls in the town. Was everyone able to evacuate?
All I know is that I have permission to attack them without hesitation.
Why are you always so passive? Is that because you're military now?
Not sure myself. What do you think, Shiria? Or me?
You're so mean. Your destruction rate is pretty low. Captain, you weren't very efficient out there. I'm sure there's no problem with you. Raid the valley and proceed without going over the cliff. Why have you chosen to raid them as a first?
I won't jump to conclusions yet, but I sense that those crystals have advanced intelligence.
No way! Even if they had any, it could only be simple behavioral patterns like that of this person.
And rely on the words of scholars. Let's just be cautious for now.
Enemy response eliminated. Please maintain commands.
The enemies will start gathering soon. Gotta rush through.
Bellwether will head later. Exercise caution because I can't. Successful entry into the ruins. The Raiden seems to have been shelled so precisely. The data analysis from Raiden is complete. What are these numbers?
Hurry up and report.
There's crystal reaction from the cave, but no contamination has been detected from other than the cave.
So it's a cave surrounded by crystals. Isn't that a promising cave for the future? Man, give me a break.
But to have contamination in the cave? What does this mean?
I guess the cave king.
deep inside.
Well, we'll have to ask it to come out and play.
The enemy is transpiring and the energy level is increasing. Please be extra careful. Enemy deactivated. Watch out for explosions. Found a path to exit out into the sky. Please make a vertical ascent and evacuate at once.
Excavating. I think we can. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. Private port and also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for VCDs.
Bellwether will head there immediately. Please patrol and secure surrounding airspace before heading towards the scene. Transmission has remained in the council. Nothing more.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether heading toward Windsport?
Ah, Miss Helga Lindbergh. Pleasure to hear from a woman who must be so busy working for the council.
Thanks for being so considerate. Although I'd be even happier if you didn't increase my workload. Why did you change the course of Bellwether? I'd also like an explanation for the SOS call to the port in the name of BCD.
Well, that's...
Captain, I've confirmed multiple contaminated weapons here at Windsport. What happened to this?
not good. Quickly mop up the port enemy's fate. Yes,
Yes, you tell me all about it when you have time later.
Captain, you issued an SOS call to the port. Did you know that the enemy...
I came up with a hypothesis of a pistol kit, so I made the call just in case.
The port enemy has nearly annihilated. It will continue with their duties, so please be extra. Your vital meter is decreasing. Please focus on the enemy. Emergency
that right? Fly northwest from there and you'll arrive in no time. Hurry! We're heading there too.
Seems like you missed quite a lot of enemies. I know you're tired from all the fighting, but please hurry ahead to some shelter. Captain, you mentioned that you knew they'd appear.
Yeah. My hypothesis was unfortunately correct. I thought these crystals might be advanced life forms that could mutually communicate.
They look like jewels, but are actually
You see, they were obviously mining those crystals in that cave for a certain reason. I assumed that by us taking away their crystals, they'd come back for revenge.
Well then, why don't you report to the Weapons Development Division and the Council and ask for an analysis?
Early years of meeting, you asked for help from scientists and politicians. Showing them the results is the quickest way.
Excuse me, but that remark is one that ignores civilian control. Your remark and conduct are worthy of a military tribunal.
Well, in that case, tell them you were forced by the captain.
Contaminated weapons. Below? It's coming out from the water. Its arms are opening out. Believe the enemy is transforming into a weapon.
Well, anyways, I'm glad we've won. We can't leave the crystals like this. We better head to the French LHC, or else we'll be chased forever.
Do you hear me, Raiden? You are being forced by the captain to head towards France after withdrawing.
don't want to stand out too much on this mission. You will fly close above the sea and the ground before you get to the NHC.
I'm getting responses to contaminated weapons in the plant area. Raiden, I need you to proceed and destroy them. We're getting close to Sidonia Falls. Blend into the waterfall in the sun. I'm sorry for ruining your coffee time, Captain, but there is a transmission.
Oh, Madam Lindgren from the Council. I'm surprised you've already caught on.
It's not the Council. It's from the weapons organization. I will connect you.
Forget that we're at war while your carefree with coffee. How about paying attention to your role as the captain of Bellwether, a cutting-edge aircraft carrier?
I apologize for worrying. Bellwether of the Weapons Development Division performed wonderfully. It would really be helpful if you could improve the deal of sea coffee as well.
I could go on a walk with these precious things.
I'm not obliged to inform you, technical officer.
You think I'm some kind of normal technical officer? Without me, Raiden and Bellwether wouldn't be around. This whole war with the crystals depends on me. I guess it's difficult for someone like you who judges people on ranks to understand.
Alright, the transmissions will be temporarily shut off since the ship will be entering the magnetic zone. I will contact you when you are.
Handle of the weapons development. I didn't know how annoying.
The enemy destruction speed is slow. Please be cautious in combat. We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response in my wings. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? No time. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that invaded the LHC facility, right? And they've done it in an organized formation. They have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? It's pretty cool.
I was speaking hypothetically. There's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
More enemies are approaching the facility.
Right. Protect the central facility. Sorry, but we're occupied here. to help us take out the remaining enemies in the sky.
You've let too many enemies escape. I know it's a tough mission. Please hang in there. Now help us up in the sky.
Whistles back. They just keep appearing. Could it be that they understand war strategies?
A high energy response is approaching the sky above the facility.
Don't let it near the LHC facility.
The enemy has arrived in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The side parts are separating and falling. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Fire! Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
Emergency contact from the deck. Surveillance is enforced sorting. Message from the second storage room. The crystals were snatched by someone.
One problem.
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear. Recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code. Captain, how should I proceed?
Cut into the receiver military model, so it may not be unrelated to this mission. Why don't you connect to it?
I'm on it. My name's Cheese. This is Valvarosa Hawk. You heard me.
But Pirate Barbarossa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours. Are you having trouble making a living?
An incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief. Just remember that I'm getting paid to come to hell.
Oh. You get money for those crystals.
You're way too much. You sound pretty innocent, but I guess I shouldn't underestimate you. I'm in a contract and can't say much, so let's just put it this way. The more disputes, the more.
You're involved in crystals? You've been attacking the army for the last few years, but now you're looting crystals?
I don't understand what a pirate would be thinking. Here's this.
crystals have been taken by someone. This is an inexcusable mistake, Captain.
We have sharp ears as usual. We are doing all we can to recover them. They're hard to regain. Thief.
Sink? There's no way that can be allowed. Those are valuable. More Bellwether's mission is not to protect badges. It should leave the recovery mission to other squads. Prepare for battle with contaminated weapons.
Unfortunately, we don't turn the other cheek. Don't listen to the rumors, Captain, and please return to your important research task. The people doing the desk work are so carefree. Nobody without you. Public officials are gentle on citizens, but it's the VCD's policy to be tough on those who fail to pay their taxes.
I'm also nice to citizens, but hate soldiers. I'm seriously bad. VH wouldn't be famous if it ended with this.
It is being bombed, is that alright? Raiden will be in danger too if you avoid it.
We're ready! Be it the cherished treasure of mankind or whatever. You come at me, sorry, but we're going to destroy you.
It's like the strength of an army. Isn't it? The army won't be able to handle it.
This isn't the time to be moved. It's not the contaminated weapons. It would also have to be seriously engaged. Everyone is don't be careless.
Are absorbing the power of the pitch. The potential to circle high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formations change. The energy level is increasing.
The moment I heard that obnoxious name shift.
The enemy battleship and JP weapons have been completely.
You know, I would like to talk to you about various things. Can you come to our ship, without us?
You'll abide by the proper etiquette if you're going to invite me.
What? You're a lady? Eddie, you human. The child knows what happened in the facility based on the information you got from VH.
A facility that was supposed to have closed by the weapons development division. This has become ever since.
Look, I've told you many times that I was only hired and don't know the details. But I did do my research on it, because stuff like that is important for hire.
But I can't believe that it's a weapons development facility that was supposed to be shut down.
No time for this. It seems they're ready for battle.
Your destruction speed is poor. There's nothing wrong with the measuring instruments, so just go full force without worrying about anything. An incoming transmission from inside the enemy facility.
What is it? There are no contaminated weapons around this area.
Why are you here, Raiden?
What are you doing in a facility that should have been torn down? This is different from the official record, isn't it?
It was necessary to avoid the eyes of the ignorance of the council. There are a bunch of imbeciles who don't understand the importance of the crystal research.
I see. So you are breaking them up to be right?
That agreement is ridiculous. The weapons division has actually already been successful. What do you think provides the energy for Final Thunder and Bellwether?
That's an intriguing one.
We need to bring about homage to the council for the future. SHIP is an organization formed by scientists for safety. You guys on the front lines know well what it would be like if Raiden weren't here during the battle with the crystals, right?
It would have been tough for sure. The pirate ship hired by the captain has also been contaminated. Crystals aren't something we humans usually like. They're too dangerous.
I thought that the armies would be more useful than your being rash as I imagined. doors of the future of mankind!
That's correct. The danger level from contaminated weapons is something that we know best since we're on the front line. If there's something you want to say to the captain,
Stupid commoners who don't understand the righteousness of shit!
Are you letting the enemies flee? I was used to defeat on the battlefield.
there are many things here that a facility this kind to store and transport machinery and weapons. You escape from there.
Raiden, can you hear me? I'll send you the escape route from within the facility. It's just that we have analysis is outdated, so please ascertain the offset guides in accordance with the situation. Everything that Lieutenant Campbell had said can be wrong, so it's
Let's prioritize the performance of students now, rather than being frustrated.
Raiden is currently entering the underground corridor transport route in the city.
You should be able to lead to advance that. Continue calmly.
That you guys will be escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Ryan. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability as a scientist.
It appears that he isn't too beat. Please exercise caution. Third play? This is tough. The number has increased.
It appears that the number has increased, but you need to calm down.
All the weapons have been destroyed. It was definitely...
This is an internal squabble, and I'd like to make it the last one at that.
What will happen to Captain Campbell?
That's something that the Council will change. Let's just focus on the battle that awaits us. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the doors. Go ahead, Ryan. Watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? is not used to carrying out a mission without knowing what it is.
Alright. I told you that we were able to retrieve a lot of information from the ship facility that you guys destroyed, right? Well, it seems that any information stored in an individual crystal gets collectively shared by all the other crystals. Is that right? I've heard that even among terrestrial life forms, if an individual leaves a new way to hunt, the same method of hunting was suddenly acquired by other individuals all around the world. This may be like the collective unconscious that Young talked about.
It's hard for me to understand the implications, so can you explain it more in layman's terms?
Simply said, the information that comes into contact with crystals is being leaked to all the contaminated weapons.
I see. So they're making it as unclear as possible as to where they're at.
That's correct.
Remember, the crystals will share only information among each other, so you can't let them escape. You've got to do better.
Alright. Can you possibly tell us the reason for aiming for the X-ray space center?
Well, I'm sorry about this sudden topic, but we'll have to go to outer space.
I see. Excuse me, what did you just say?
I will officially relay this information. Both Bellwether and Fighting Thunder will head toward the planet where the crystals exist and destroy the source of the crystals flying into the Earth. That's it.
What the utterly reckless strategy?
Don't worry. Bellwether and Raiden were both created to be active in outer space. You learned that during the training, right?
That's not the problem. The sudden mission?
This is the official mission to us from the Council, right?
Yes. I'm sorry, Max, about asking you to do this reckless mission. It is the kind of fuzzy mission you despise.
That's all right. We are soldiers. You tell us to go somewhere, and whether it is the end of the universe or otherwise, we will accomplish the mission.
Thanks, Max.
switch into the second booster. We are approaching the acceleration limit momentarily. Please hurry back to Bellwether, Raiden. Hurry, Raiden. Break away. 3, 2, 1. I know it's a breakaway mission, but I would have liked to live through to destroy the world. I'm calculating the coordinates. Since it was a breakaway to avoid the enemy attack, we seem to have drifted quite far from the arrival point.
What can we do? Head toward the destination point while watching out for the cosmic garbage?
Why do they need weapons in this area?
The equipment for removing the cosmic garbage appears to have been contaminated by the crystals. Or we could realize it, contamination had spread outside.
I realize that it's really tough with the contaminated weapons, but there's not much time until the warp device will be activated. Please hurry toward the destination.
Is the warp device the Alcubierre drive that was successfully experimented with like around 50 years ago? Create space-time foam based on the contraction and extension of space.
The device will be used on the enemy planet. Hurry up, we can't be late.
Numerous contamination responses have been detected among the debris of the colony. Please be careful when you pass through. We are leaving from the colony area and will be arriving at the destination. A contaminated weapon response at 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Engel, the space debris retrieval column.